Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
Developing news out of southwest Detroit, that is where an early morning fire destroyed an abandoned church.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. An investigation is underway right now after the New Life Community Church over on Dearborn Street caught on fire.
Let's get straight out to Local 4's Sean Lay. He is live this afternoon with more on what we're learning about what may have caused this.
A lot, guys. Good afternoon to you. This is the very top of a steeple here of that vacant church you just mentioned. It stood here at the top here in southwest Detroit since about, the owner says, 1905. But as you can see, massive fire here this morning. They are dismantling the steeple in pieces. This came off first for a very important reason. Let me show you again. Huge fire gutting the entire inside of this church, roof coming down, but now it is so unstable. These bricks, fire department calling a demo company, thinking this steeple could come crashing down near the home or on top of the home next door, or on kids if they were to leave this as they walk home from school later. So they want to take this entire thing down. Now, what happened here? Fire breaking out early this morning. We caught up with James Harris, Chief James Harris with Detroit Fire, who can update us on exactly what happened.
When we arrived on the scene, we noticed there was a fire, an abandoned church on Dearborn and Harbaugh. We immediately went to attack mode. We went to the defensive posture. We called a second alarm because of the size of the structure. Nobody was injured, nobody was hurt, no firefighters were hurt, thank goodness. And right now we're just making sure nobody gets hurt by taking that steeple down.
Back here live, so steeple coming down in pieces. What caused the fire? That is still under investigation. I asked Chief Harris if it can be called suspicious. He says not at this point. They don't know if someone was inside trying to get warm or if this is an electrical issue, something like that. They'll get to the bottom of it, but first and foremost, taking the steeple apart so it does not come crashing down on anyone or anything. We're going to keep an eye on this and let you know how it looks and what happens, and we'll be back live at 5. Guys, back to you.
All right, we appreciate it. Thank you, Sean. It's a gorgeous day out there, Rhonda.
I mean, just unbelievable weather that we have had all week long. I'm still looking at the calendar like, are we sure it's November, Paul?
I'll tell you what, it does certainly have you questioning things. I mean, take a look at these temperatures, and some of these temperatures have actually exceeded even my expectations for noon, because we've had more in the way of sunshine this morning than I expected. I expected some cloudiness, but also some sun, but we've had really more sun than anything else. We just have those very thin clouds right now. 68 in Taylor, Livonia, Metro Airport, 62 though in West Bloomfield, 70 in Troy, 63 in Mount Clemens, and 68 in the city of Detroit. That's our metro zone. In our south zone, 66 at Dundee, 64 at Deerfield, 65 in Saline. In our west zone, 62 at Whitmore Lake. We have 66 in Ypsi, 64 in Milford, 68 in Howell. And in our north zone, we're looking at, I don't think that's updated yet for Emmett, but 66 right now over in Melvin, 59 in Sandusky. Again, I'm not sure if that updated either, but 66 in Port Huron, 64 over in Romeo. You can see the satellite, some of the clouds are so thin, the satellite doesn't even see some of them, but there is more cloudiness to the west, and we will see more clouds toward the end of the afternoon. But now, as I mentioned, those numbers popped quicker than I thought. We may even do better than that, 72 degrees. We may do mid-70s in some spots. But we have wicked wind on tap for tomorrow. Weather Service in Grand Rapids has already issued a wind advisory. We'll talk more on specifics on that in just a little bit.
All right, thank you, Paul. In less than an hour, a Michigan member of the Boogaloo Boys is expected to face a judge for a detention hearing. Timothy Teagan is accused of lying about drug use while purchasing a gun. FBI agents arrested the 24-year-old after raiding his father's home in Plymouth, and he now faces federal charges. During that raid, agents confiscated marijuana and at least 2 guns. Teagan has a documented history promoting the Boogaloo movement, including a rally at the state capitol building last January.
Michigan State University's president is expected to leave his post today. In a letter to students, Samuel Stanley says he will be stepping aside. Stanley's last day was supposed to be in January. He resigned last month after several board members asked him to step aside. Earlier this week, the board appointed Provost Teresa Woodruff as interim president.
Oh, we are inching ever closer to Election Day for Decision 2022. We are now 4 days away from the candidates, of course, counting on you for their votes and making that home stretch right now.
Oh, that's right. It is crunch time. Both gubernatorial candidates are in Metro Detroit today. Governor Gretchen Whitmer will be in Royal Oak, Detroit, Ypsilanti, and Ann Arbor. Democratic candidates on the ballot will be with her. Meantime, Tudor Dixon continuing her bus tour with stops in Brighton and Clinton Township to host rallies, and she'll be joined by GOP GOP candidates on the ticket.
Now to the lawsuit hearing for GOP Secretary of State candidate Kristina Karamo. That continues today in court. Karamo is trying to halt the count of absentee ballots in the city of Detroit. Yesterday's hearing lasted close to 9 hours with some heated exchanges between the judge and Karamos' attorney. She is suing the Detroit city clerk, alleging that the city has been breaking the law in the way that it counts absentee ballots. We caught up with Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson about this lawsuit.
And part of the strategy behind meritless lawsuits or other misinformation is a scare tactic to deter people from believing that if they vote, their vote is going to count. And I'm here today as the state's chief election officer to say, yes, indeed, your vote will count. Yes, indeed, you have a right to vote absentee in this state. And under the state constitution and our laws, that absentee vote, if once validated, will be tabulated.
Meantime, the Michigan Supreme Court has ruled Michigan clerks will keep using guidance from the Secretary of State when it comes to election challengers. The ruling means that proposed revisions to those instructions will not be made, and clerks will use the same guidelines that were used in the August primary.
New at noon, a lawsuit filed against Twitter claims the company violated federal and state laws that require 60 days notice for mass layoffs. Elon Musk took over the social media company last week for $44 billion. A memo sent to staff stated Musk would begin laying off employees today. Musk reportedly plans to lay off up to half of the company's 7,500 workers. The final number of layoffs is not clear yet. This morning was our Evrod Cassimi's last day on the anchor desk for us here at Local 4. It was a tough morning.
It was a tough morning. Honestly, I'm a little emotionally exhausted right now. But we want to show you some of what our show ended like for Evrod. The Cass Tech Band joined the end of our 6 a.m. newscast. The entire band is here. They just came storming in at about 5:15 in the morning. It was something else. And they played a big role in our goodbye tribute. And in case you missed any of it, we just wanted to share with you a bit of the moments that we had this morning to wish Evrod and his beautiful family a farewell.
I have grown in so many different ways as a journalist, as a news anchor, telling you your stories each and every day. And behind the scenes, I've grown as a person, a coworker, a husband, a father, a son, a friend. And that is what you are to me. Friends that have invited me into your home every morning and at noon for the past 9 years, and for that I'm eternally grateful to each and every one of you. We have been through a lot during this time. There have been so many news stories, and I have so many memories that I'm going to be taking with me to Chicago. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for welcoming me into your family and into this town with open arms. Thank you to WDIV management, Marla Drutz and Kim Voet, who welcomed me here to the station and brought me to Detroit, and for trusting me to sit at the anchor desk with the anchor team there. And then all of you behind the scenes here, on camera and behind the scenes, thank you for helping me wake up at 2 o'clock every morning, sometimes 2:30, and for making it a true joy to share so many laughs off camera and on camera as well. And thank you for supporting my music endeavors in raising money for charity at Cass Tech High School, which I will continue to do. I'll never forget you, and I hope that we'll stay in touch on social media. You can always message me there. I'm just down the freeway, just down I-94. You make a right at Chicago, and you're there. And if you're ever in the Windy City, I hope you'll reach out and say, what up, though? Till then, Detroit, I will always love you.
Oh. And we will always love you too.
You as well.
will always have a home here. You know, Detroit, we love our people.
Yeah.
We know you were a transplant, but you will be in our hearts forever. You'll certainly be in mine. It's been an honor to work with you the last 9 years. And I will dearly miss working alongside of you, but I am extremely proud and happy for all that you've developed here and that what you're taking with you to Chicago. I know that you can do anything there and beyond with your career. So I wish you all the best, and I know we'll always be friends.
Absolutely.
But not being able to do this every single day, I'm definitely going to miss.
I am certainly thankful for everything that you've taught me in the past 9 years, and for welcoming me as to not just your partner here, but a part of your family.
Oh.
Listen, his next chapter begins, and I'm so glad that you're here to get me through the last show of my day and my week. I know.
It is. You build that relationship on the desk. It's more than just a friendship. And he did. He made us all better. I love Evrod's energy, his enthusiasm. We're
for everything. And his passion.
For everything.
So there's some great clips, some great little segments that we put together of Evrod's entire 9-year career. Devin narrated a beautiful one, and there's another one of just some hilarious clips from the last 9 years. You should should definitely take time to watch them on clickondetroit.com. We'll be right back.